Bruins Beat is brought to you by PrizePicks.
And welcome into the Bruins Beat, presented by PrizePicks. Go use that promo code CLNS to get $50 back when you play your first $5 lineup, and we're presented by CLNS Media. Make sure to go check out all our great stuff over on the Bruins Rinkside YouTube channel. We have podcasts, interviews, live streams coming down the line. And if you don't like looking at us and you just want to hear us, make sure to go subscribe over at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. And of course, there's lots of great content. CLNS has Patriots Press Pass, Celtics All Access, and that's kicking into gear now. But this is Bruins Beat. I'm Evan Marinofsky. That's Connor Ryan. Connor, what is up?
Evan, I'm doing well. Good to be back. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I feel like you and I haven't talked in forever. When was the last time we did a show? Was it like 2 weeks ago?
About that, a little over 2 weeks. So I'm glad that I think the only thing I really missed while I was, going down to Saugus and, hitting all the spots around Massachusetts. If you follow along on, went to Canopy Lake, the Lost Mine, the Mine of Lost Souls still hits, all that kind of stuff. So I was off the grid for a little bit, going up to New Hampshire, going all the other spots around the Commonwealth of New England, but
hit every 99 in New England.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's a rite of passage over here. But yeah, I'm glad to be back, Evan, and didn't miss anything too much in terms of there was no calamitous trade. I didn't get off the Yankee cannonball. It's like Bruins are excited to bring in Leon Draisaitl. Didn't miss anything like that. So all worked out pretty well.
An incredible vacation. You actually went to Greece, London. You hit a bunch of spots in Europe. That was I did enjoy the tagging them as New England places. It made it feel more homey.
Yes.
But it looked like an incredible vacation.
It was great. Great food, great weather. I am completely sunburned. I don't know if you can tell based on the way the filters. I don't have like one of those Instagram filters where it makes like your face really like bright and pink. I am actually burned to a crisp, but I'm happy to be back. We're recording, and I think it's only like 70 degrees out, but I still have the AC blasting in this house just to welcome that luxury back into my life. But no, it was unbelievable. Great time. Once again, shout out to Canopy Lake Park, but glad to be back talking hockey with you.
What if we bought Canopy Lake Park and made it global? Like, what if we put a Canopy Lake Park in Greece?
I mean, it'd be unreal. I mean, like everyone else should be able to experience the joys of going on, the Boston Tea Party. That'd be wild if they had the Boston Tea Party in Athens. It wouldn't really probably hit the same way, but you never know.
Untamed in like Paris, France.
Yes, exactly.
Outstanding.
I think it would hit. I think if we're looking at finding ways to bring joys to the world, it has to be not by playing Three Dog Night. No, it's by bringing Canopy Lake Park worldwide. We need Pitbull involved. They have like the Canopy Lake where it's like, they have the new up and coming artists. And I think they've gotten with the times recently where it's like they have a Taylor Swift impersonator now is what I think it is, which shout out to them for like striking while the iron's hot, right? Of like the Eras tour, we got to do that. When I went there, it was like Elvis Presley, and this was like 2002. So I'm glad to see what they got with the time. But they should bring in Pitbull now and have it be Mr. Worldwide as part of the campaign.
They should
to all four corners of the world.
And I think what we could do is we could take a good portion of our investment money and pay Pitbull to play at the opening of each Canopy Lake Park we have, wherever it is. Yeah. Like, and we stagger them out so we can bring Pitbull to each spot and he can dolly his way all over.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to do that. That comes with part of the agreement of bringing him there. I mean, this is a guy that, let's not forget that Pitbull, I think, performed at like a Walmart up in Alaska. Like, it was like a thing where he did like an online poll where he was like, it was like an online poll where it was like Pitbull will perform at any concert that gets the most votes. And of course the internet found out and they made him do one in like Glacier Bay, Alaska. Like, it was middle of nowhere, and he showed up and it was like 40 people there. So if he can do that, then I think we can get him at Canopy Lake Park.
I think we can. I think we can. I agree. It's funny, when I was at UMass, it was my freshman year, so like 2018, and they had some thing for Tinder. Whatever school swiped the most on Tinder would get a Cardi B concert. And so like everybody had like multiple Tinders and they're like scrolling through blah, blah, blah. And she ended up doing a concert at UMass for Tinder. She was pregnant. I think she was up there for maybe like a couple minutes.
Yes.
But it was the night of Game 7 Bruins Leafs that year. So I did not go. All that swiping for nothing. I didn't
You're
even
man
end
of
up
the
going.
people, Evan. I'm glad you contributed though.
I tried my best. People are punching their steering wheel.
They're like, I'm so glad we finally have a Bruins hockey to talk about once again. And these idiots are talking about Canterbury Lake Park. Well, you know what? Go to Canterbury Lake Park and experience for yourself, guys. What do you want me to say?
That's right. They got to become a sponsor. I think we got to have some sort of promo code to get people into Canterbury Lake Park around the summertime.
That's the
goal. Couple things. I mean, obviously the one current thing in hockey is there's the World Junior Showcase. James Hagens is lighting it up. I think you've seen the highlights on Twitter. He is just cooking. And I think like one thing that it's not a surprise that I think this, and I assume you think this too, but I think history is going to look back at that draft. And it's early to be saying this, but I do think the history is going to look back at that draft, mock drafts. The Athletic does them every year. And, when you do them years down the road, people are going to be like, how did he fall to 7? And that to me, and you see some of these highlights, and the biggest thing, and I think the one thing you can really safely almost 100% project is he is going to clean house at BC this year. I mean, I think he is going to tear it up in college hockey this coming winter.
Yeah, I think you even see how he's been playing. And obviously I was following along a little bit, but I've been watching more of the highlights more than anything. But I think it's something that I think even Don Sweeney mentioned about, before, when they were assessing whether or not Hagens was going to go back to BC for another year. And based on what Hagens and Greg Brown mentioned for this upcoming year, it feels like it's pretty much a lock that he's going back as a sophomore. Not a surprise, but I think good to kind of see that in writing that it's going to be the case. But when Don Sweeney mentioned what they wanted to see out of Hagens his second year, I think you look at where he was this past year as a line mate with guys like Ryan Leonard and Gabe Perreault, two great players. And, it helps, ease your way into the college hockey ranks playing with two talented guys. But I think having him kind of be the guy that's driving the lane on his own now, and who knows, maybe he's going to be with Teddy Stiga, whoever it's going to be. He's going to have talented line mates, but where now he is going to be the guy that is going to be tasked with generating plays, generating offense, and being more assertive with the puck on his stick. Like, I think it's only going to help him. This is a guy that I think we've mentioned before, and I think you see it validated during Dev Camp. The edge work, the skating, the playmaking is still so elite that like good things are going to happen when the puck is on his stick. And I think now that he's not deferring to guys like Leonard and Perreault, he's going to have the puck on his stick a lot, and he's going to make things happen. I think you even see that during this showcase where he's kind of put it upon himself to be the top guy on that USA team. And you're seeing it, like just stuff happens when he's operating the offensive zone. And I think you're going to see a whole lot of that this year at BC. So good to see him already take steps forward right now during late July. And I think you're going to see a lot more of it with BC this year. I imagine we're all going to be, I think me, you, the entire Bruins Beat contingent is going to be at BC on October 3rd, when I think there's approximately like 20 Bruins prospects playing. BC opens up, I think, against Quinnipiac. So,
yep.
And it's before the Bruins season starts, all that kind of stuff. So I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of us there in that little cramped Connie Forum. We're all going to be climbing that ladder like John McClane getting into that press box, but it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I might just buy a ticket to that game because that's like all Bruins. It's going to be Bruin on Bruin crime like the entire game. James Hagens killing it there, which is awesome to see. One thing that came up, and this is more obviously on the pro side, Pavel Zacha trade rumors. Still, his name is being floated out there. I think Frank Saravalli said something along the lines of, the Bruins are still listening if they get the right deal for him. They'd want to pull the trigger. When I keep going back to Zacha, it's like, what are you dealing him for? Like, what are you hoping to get in return? You have enough first round picks these next 2 years. You don't need another. Are you dealing him for a younger defenseman with control? Are you dealing him for another forward? I don't know about those things. Because again, like your strength is on D. I think we can all agree you need to replace Brandon Carlo in a perfect world. But Zacha brings a ton of value. Like Pavel Zacha makes great money for what he brings. I mean, we say it time and time again. He can play left wing in the top 6. He can center the top 6. He plays with Pastrnak. He's on the penalty kill. He's on the power play. And he does it all at an affordable price. And you have his control for the next 2 years. Like if you're dealing him, to me, the only way I'm dealing Zacha is if he's in a package for like a much better player. Like for an elite guy, you're going to sign long-term. then I'm all for it. But if it's just a 1-for-1, or if it's like for draft picks, I don't really understand the reasoning behind that. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree in terms of like what the target return would be. Like I'm not trading him just for a 1-for-1 for a top 4D or something like that, right? I think it's, let's say for example, like maybe he's part of a package for like, I don't know, Mason McTavish, like a 22-year-old potential top 6 center, right? Like maybe Anaheim, where they're trying to, they're obviously going to be investing a lot of money in other younger players. They want a cost-controlled veteran guy that can help you out, can still be in your top 6, can kind of do a little bit of everything as a Swiss Army knife. I could see that maybe being the case. I also think the Bruins, if they're gauging Zacha's trade value, I'd rather you wait until the trade deadline, right? Unless like it's, Anaheim is looking at like McTavish as something like that. Maybe something percolates at the end of the offseason now where you want to look at it. But I agree that I think Zacha is the type of guy that I think ideally you want to keep him just because he is such a useful asset. As much as, he's maybe more of an understated player, he's not flashy. Like if you're the Bruins and you're looking for versatility and like consistency, especially, like I know we kind of had a little bit of a dip this year, but still had 47 points. Yep. Was also banged up for quite a bit of it. Didn't play in World Championships because of it. Was kind of resting. I forget if it was a foot injury or a wrist, or I forget exactly what it was, but it's something that was bothering him this year that he needed to take some time to recover. So as much as, he's maybe not what people look at as like a top 6 lock, he probably will be a top 6 player on this team, but he's been here for 3 seasons. And I think he's averaged like 55 points. Pretty good for a guy that can play a little bit of everything, has a good shot when he uses it, good two-way player, and also is making under $5 million for this year and next. Like, there's a lot of value that he brings to this team. And if you're, let's say the Bruins right the ship pretty quickly here, and, maybe they feel like next year they're really going to take a big step forward, Zacha has a lot of value. He can be a top 6 player, can be a third-line player as he ages out, right? But, and is still, under 30 years old. He's still a guy that can really help you out now and potentially in the future. So I wouldn't be like, asking everyone what they want to give up for him just for the sake of moving him. But I do think, let's say you go to the trade deadline, the Bruins are plummeting. They're looking at the top 10 pick and you want to put yourself over the top. I think you probably get a really good return for him. You probably get a good prospect in a first or something like that. Or if you want to move him for a guy that maybe helps you out even more down the road, right? Like McTavish or someone like that. I could see it, but if I'm the Bruins, I'm not moving Zacha just for the sake of moving him, because I think he really is a versatile key piece to this team that if you wanted to keep him beyond this current contract either, I think he can help you out as that kind of next wave, but I think it kind of depends on where the Bruins are in the next year or two.
Yeah, if they stink this year and they're plummeting and you have like you have the year after with control of him, I agree with you. You could get a ton for him at the deadline.
You get a lot for him.
Like that's like a number 1 trade target in the NHL, like a top 5 guy. Number 1 might be a bit much, but like that's a top 5 guy. You're getting a definite first. You're getting a prospect or 2. You maybe even get a player back because that's an amazing contract. You get another year with that guy. And he's
45, 55-point player. Yeah, like there's a lot of value of what, like, especially as like a guy that's just a missing equation to a team, right? Like maybe another team that's a contender, maybe he's on a top 6 player. He is a third line, play driver or something like that, right? And those guys go for a premium once you get to the deadline.
I was gonna say, if you're like on the cusp of a cup and you're just missing that middle 6 piece, that's your guy. And you're giving up whatever it takes to get that guy. So like, I agree with you. I just don't think now's the time. Like, unless something popped up, like we always used, like Elias Pettersson as the example, or like back in the day, like a JT Miller, then okay, yeah, you figure something out with that. But just to trade him, I don't get. The other thing is like, I know we're all kind of looking at this Bruins team as meh next season. And like, I agree. I've said it a number of times. Like, I do think they are going to be meh. But like, he is one of the stable things you have up front. Yeah. You pretty much know what you're going to get. And he's a stable part of that second line. And if Elias Lindholm is not the first line center with Pastrnak and Geekie that he was at the end of last year, you can slot Zacha up there and at least have pretty solid production. And I think that's a good luxury to have, along with killing penalties and being on the power play and being a guy that David Pastrnak plays well with, all those different things. I'm not sitting here like rushing to trade him. And there's no need. You have cap space. we can't say enough. His contract value is good. So it's like, I remember when he signed that deal, even at the time, it's like, man, that is cheap. Like that is, and they were smart to do it when they did, because they did it midway through that 22-23 season, right? It was like after a game.
January, February. It was literally like a post game. Like, I think we went to the locker room, got our stuff, like got our quotes. And then I think almost he like spoke at the podium afterwards. It was like a very unique situation there.
Yeah. And so again, like they signed him at the right time and he's lived up to it through 2 years. There's no reason to think he won't. In year 3, what is he? He's 28. So like, again, like that's prime. That's prime. But again, that makes him a very nice trade target for other teams. And if someone wants to like drastically overpay, I guess I can get on board. But when it comes to the deadline, like I would understand it more then rather than now. I do wonder if this is a little bit of them floating him out there just to kind of get his name on people's radars come next year's deadline, because that might make a little bit more sense.
Right.
Something that always makes sense. Our friends over at PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the best place to turn your sports knowledge into cash. With millions of members, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. PrizePicks, the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states. You go to California, you go to Texas, you go to Georgia, you can play PrizePicks. On PrizePicks, you can mix and match player projections from different sports, combine your favorite basketball players, players from baseball, hockey, esports, and much more. In PrizePicks, they invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Red Sox are rolling right now. Red Sox coming off a nice series with the Twins. We'll see what they do at the deadline. We're recording.
Yeah, let's find out. Yeah, let's
2 hours before. But Jaron Duran, if he decides to, if he doesn't get dealt, he's been hot lately. Trevor Story's been hot. Alex Bregman's been hot. I love the hitter score. I think that is a great one to go with, or the RBI hits runs combination. I love that too. So to get in on that action, sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus because it's guaranteed. Also, there's weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts several player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineup. So download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. Run your game over at PrizePicks. So Connor, is Connor McDavid coming to the Bruins? Is this the new thing? Should we get 97 out of the on a Bruins jersey? Is that what's going to happen in 26, 27? Not into him? No,
he stinks.
Doesn't
fight.
He's not a Bruin. Doesn't play Bruins hockey.
Has he won the cup the last 2 years?
No, he hasn't. He's a loser.
He's only won. He only won, the Conn Smythe on a losing effort. So
still a loser. Still a complete loser. There is talk of this. There is talk. Now it's summer talk, so you have to take it with a grain of salt. I got a kick out of I did a Bruins Beat with Elliot Grenwald that we put out on the Bruins Rinkside YouTube channel.
Very good job, by the way, of getting all the stuff with him and Pelosi and all that stuff.
Thank you.
Good insight.
Thank you. Did all right. Next video, Talks with Haggs. Connor McDavid of the Bruins blows off the charts.
Haggs!
Haggs again, which is what I expected, right? Of course it's going to do better. But Haggs isn't completely in the wrong. No, he's not in the wrong at all, actually. But he's not way out of touch with that. Elliot Friedman on the last episode of 32 Thoughts basically mentioned that the Bruins seem to be keeping cap space open for next year's free agency class, which is stacked as of now. One little caveat is that I doubt most of those guys make it to July 1 next year, but still, as of now, big free agency class in 2026. And there are some stories that are like, hey, McDavid would make sense for the Bruins. They have the cap space. They could use a number 1 center, all those different things. I doubt we ever even get close to that because I can't see a world in which the Oilers let McDavid just go. I don't know how that works, especially with Draisaitl locked up. But what if? What if McDavid ended up with the Bruins?
I mean, they'd win a cup, but They would. Yeah,
They would.
mean, like, it's the easiest cheat code. I think like now McDavid's hit the point where, I mean, he's so dominant that even with whatever the money's going to be, and you even see it validated with a guy like Draisaitl, right? Who's making what, 14 million? Is that his payout, or is it even more?
I believe it is. I believe it's that.
The Athletic does that thing, right, of like the best contracts in the NHL, and usually it's like you find out of the top 10, there's like 2 or 3 guys that are like maybe a third line player making like 2.5 million, 3.5. That was before the cap jumped up, but one of those types of profile players that gives you 50 points off of a contract that's well below market value. Draisaitl's I think third or fourth in that ranking now, making 14 million because he's so damn good. So whatever he's getting paid, whatever McDavid's going to get paid, he's going to be worth it, because I think McDavid is so dominant now that he's kind of like LeBron during his prime, right? Where like just him alone, you're going to be in the third round, if not in the finals every year.
Automatic in.
He's unbelievable. I mean, you look at just what he provides, just pure offensively. When you look at even like the bottom 6 of the Oilers, is like, who the hell are most of these guys that they're bringing, or just projects, guys that are signing for cheap, and they're still in the mix every year because he's so dominant. It'd be great. I'm not sure if that is going to be a realistic scenario. I just think I can't see McDavid leaving somewhere else. I think the Oilers would rather move Leon Draisaitl than let McDavid walk, even if the money's not going to work. And I feel like if he does go anywhere, you hope it's not Toronto. So,
yeah, I don't see him leaving Edmonton. I just don't see. But again, if you're McDavid and you want to maximize your earnings, I mean, this is the greatest hockey player ever. Yeah. Like, you back up you pay whatever it takes. Like, I don't want to hear any Bruins fans be like, well, what about a well-rounded team? No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter with him. It just doesn't matter. Like, if McDavid hit the open market, it is send everything you have, whatever dollars he wants, whatever perks, you go get Connor McDavid. You absolutely go get Connor. There's no debate about that. It's just, he's not going to be there. Yeah. He's not. But if he is, then hell yeah, you absolutely would do that. I don't think there's anybody in this planet who'd be like, no, I don't want Connor McDavid on the Bruins. Although maybe there would be. There could be some Bruins fans who wouldn't want him because he made me think he's a little soft.
I mean, I do think that we're going to get a point where he's going to just re-up like right before training camp. So I think that was what the Draisaitl thing was, right? Where I think we were going to have a full season to talk about Leon Draisaitl hitting the market, and then he signed, I think it was in September or something like that. So you didn't have that scenario pop up. But let's say like McDavid just like keeps his option open and goes to free agency. You know what's going to happen, right? It's going to be like July 1st, 2026. It's going to be like the free agency period starts at noon. 11:51. It's going to be like McDavid re-signs with the Oilers. That's what it's going to be. It's like when Stamkos hit the free agent market in 16. Everyone's like, where's he going to go? And then like 5 minutes beforehand, re-ups with Tampa Bay. And then the worst free agency signings of all time happened.
Yes.
It just feels like it's going to be the case there.
Or McDavid Vegas finds a way to do it. Vegas puts everybody in LTIR. It's like, all right, we're making room for McDavid. There are other free agents in this class, though. I want to hit on one that I actually think could hit the market and would be a fit. But first, got to give a shout out to CLNS Media. Make sure to go subscribe to Bruins Rinkside on YouTube. If you're watching on here now, just hit subscribe. It's free. Leave a like rating. You even comment, turn notifications on. It's all free. It's fun. Lots of great stuff. Interviews, podcasts throughout the off season, live streams, press conference videos. And if you don't like looking at us, we always say, if you don't like looking at us, if you're like, Connor's too sunburnt, I can't watch this. You're like Howie from the Benchwarmers. You're like, oh my God, I can't even have a thought of the sun. I just want to listen.
He would have died in Greece.
Oh yeah, he would not have lasted long. But you
Canopy Lake Park. Sorry,
That's right. It was a Canopy. Excuse me. Make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, it's Patriots Press Pass, Celtics All Access. Lots of great content over there. So go subscribe now. You know where? Early in this offseason, I was very big on the Mitch Marner train. We were very big on the Mitch Marner train. You don't have a lot of depth on the wings. You need a good scoring wing. You need a secondary option or on that second line at least. He helps your power play, all these different things. Artemi Panarin is a free agent. And of all the guys in that class, like, I don't think Eichel hits free agency. I just think they're doing too many good things in Vegas for him to just be like, I want to go home to Boston because I'm from there. I don't think that happens. But like, they could use Artemi Panarin. And he's older. So it's not like, I don't think it's going to be like a long-term deal. What's it, 3-4 years maybe? He's 35, I think. Is he 35 already?
Is he really that old?
I think he is. Am I out of
my
mind?
I know the fact that he won the Rookie of the Year and he was like 28. That was a big.
He's 33. He's 33, but he'll be 34 this year.
Yes.
And he would be 34 to start the year that he signs, which is crazy. I still think of Panarin as young. Panarin has consistently produced for a long time. The Rangers are sort of in a weird spot as a team. Panarin to me seems like one where like he fits on your second line. Like he fits on your second line behind Pastrnak. You put him as an option of like, all right, well, it's the same thing. He's bolstering, he's improving your center, whether they have Hagens with him, whether they have Middlestat, Zacha, Lindholm, whoever it is, they're going to produce more because Panarin's on that right side. You don't have a ton in the pipeline coming up. Geeky's playing the left. Like, Panarin's a guy I think that's like a realistic target in free agency. You'd still be winning here. I don't know if the Rangers bring him back. He's one. Like, way too early look. I don't mind Panarin.
I do think when you look at next year and like the plans for the Bruins to be really aggressive, and I get it, right, where the cap is going to be jumping up. I will say, like, I know Friedman mentioned like, the Bruins are kind of holding out for next year and seeing if they can really take a big step forward. I think the fact that the cap is jumping up for everyone, I think the Bruins, I want to say this from Ty Anderson's story on 95 Sports Hub, they're like 31st amongst the teams in available cap space, which is like, well, that's not great. And again, it's like enough to sign a like star player, right? It's what, over 20 million, I want to say. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But also you have like 13 million combined tied up to like a lot of guys with term, like Janot, Corpusalo, players like that, Corrali, that like, again, by themselves maybe aren't a make or break deal, but when you add them all up, you don't have the same cap flexibility as some of these other teams out there. So that is something I think worth noting in terms of what Friedman said, based off of also how much money other teams have. But I do think if the Bruins are going to be aggressive next offseason, I don't see it being a situation where like a lot of centers, like franchise changing centers, are going to be available, right? Like I don't think McDavid's going to be there. I don't think Eichel's going to be there. If Eichel was there, that's the most obvious fit. If you got Hagens and Eichel, BU and BC teaming up, you're good. Like, you know, you're all set. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think if the Bruins, right, you think you have someone in Hagens, you have someone in Elias Lindholm who ideally becomes a 3C probably down the road. I think it'd be a pretty good 3C for you. But if you're trying to really maximize this new contention window, I think you have to look either at, you know, drafting another top 10 pick next year and getting another center, or using your draft capital, whatever it may be, to acquire a Mason McTavish, someone like that. I think that's how you're going to have to add talent down the middle. If you want to say the Bruins are going to use this money this upcoming offseason to target a wing, right, like a Panarin, Marty Necas, someone like that, I think it's the most realistic thing, right, in terms of who the Bruins are going to, you know, sign next year. And yeah,
Kaprizov's also part of that group.
Yeah, and he's going to make so much damn money. Yeah, he's going to be
crazy. You could use someone on the left side too. I just think you get outbid there. Like you'd get outbid on that.
So I do think like the Bruins' most realistic path in terms of what I would predict next year is if they are going to sign someone big, it's going to be a winger. And yeah, like Panarin might be a more realistic option because it feels like, you know, if Kyle Connor hits the market, he's probably the top guy out there. Marty Necas is going to, I think, go for a lot. And I think Marty Necas makes a lot of sense for the Bruins. Got that Czech connection, which makes he has those ties. But Panarin's a guy that, yeah, like you can make a case he's one of the best free agent signings ever in terms of just his overall production with the Rangers. Hasn't led to a cup or anything, but guy just makes plays. So if you are the Bruins and you're looking to, you know, spend some money next year, I think realistically, and how you're going to get the most bang for your buck, it's going to have to be looking at someone like a Panarin or Marty Necas to really help not put you over the top, but give you a big piece that you can build with moving forward, as opposed to, you know, signing you know, I don't think you want to be the Bruins and using that money to sign a center that isn't going to move the needle for you in a significant way. Like, I don't know what other centers are out there, but like, let's say like Vinny Trocheck. I don't know if he's a free agent, but that's a guy, right, that like could be a 2C, but maybe he's a 3C. I wouldn't sign him for like $7 million. If that type of player was available,
No, I wouldn't. And I look at Panarin, and I think it's partially the age. Some people say, why would you want to sign someone older? Well, what I would say to that is, I think he still has a lot of good years. He still has, 3-4 good years left, and they're going to draft a high-end wing at some point. Like they are going to draft that player at some point, whether it's on the left side or the right side. And Panarin's sort of a good bridge for you. He's a good, experienced winger to pair with. Is it Hagens? Is it Lindholm? Is it Zacha? Middlesex? Whoever it is. I mean, again, Panarin's numbers, like 89 points last year, 120 the year before, 92, 96, 58. And that was the 2020 shortened season, 95, 87. I mean, he just produces. And like, if I don't know what the price is going to be for that, but I'd be open to it. Kaprizov's going to get a lot because you do need a left wing. Like they need a lot up front, but what's Kaprizov going to get? Like 15?
I think over 15.
Is that insane to think? Like 16?
I don't think it's insane to think. I think there's other like NHL writers, like national writers, like, yeah, he's going to make the most money. Like he's going to like sign for 16 plus million. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if he signs for a cheaper deal, like 3-4 years, and then hit the market again when the cap jumps up another 25 million by 2028, 29, 2030. So
yeah, no, I could absolutely see it. So it's an interesting class. It just comes with the caveat of like how many guys from that group are going to hit free agency. Like the reason I picked Panarin is like he's older, and the Rangers are sort of a team in limbo. So it's like, are they going to bring him back? Are they going to pay that? Could you outbid them? All those different things. But yeah, Eichel, McDavid, they're fun to talk about. I can't see them hitting free agency. But you know what, Connor? McDavid, as long as McDavid's a free agent, we should do a segment every episode. Just like, what would McDavid look like as a Bruin? Who would he play with? What would happen?
It wouldn't matter. Tanner Jeannot would have 40 goals if he had.
That's right. That's right.
He'd literally be the new Zach Hyman.
That's right. Literally, he would be. He absolutely would be. McDavid could make you and me be like 30 goal scorers. So
that's high praise for Connor McDavid.
That's like the nicest thing we could say to Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
Connor, what can the people look forward to from you now that you're back? You're off of the Boston Tea Party. You are back home again in America. What can the people look forward to from you over at theglobeandboston.com?
Yeah, you can follow me over at theglobeandboston.com. We have you covered every step of the way this Bruins offseason going into the year. While I was on my trip, still did a couple of different stories looking at the Bruins lineup projections for next year. Did a ranking of the top 20 Bruins prospects, which I'm sure you and I will talk about at some point this offseason. So plenty of stuff already on the site and plenty more to come moving forward into the dog days of the summer. So please read all my stuff over at boston.com and the Globe. If you want to follow me on Twitter, X, you can at Connor Ryan _93.
Go do all that. That's Connor Ryan. I'm Evan Marinofsky, Bruins Beat listeners. Have a great rest of your week.